Next, you're going to have Jack Smith, and I heard this once by a comic. He's going to be. You're going to see Jack Smith very soon subpoenaing Big Petey, Little Petey, Medium Petey, Wee Petey, Author Petey, Petey, Joe Bag of Donuts, Muscles Marinara, Squiddly Parmesan. All right. At the end of the day, that's who he's coming. That's who he's coming to speak to.
I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. I got to show you this clip from Political Beatdown, which I co-host with Michael Cohen. And that part of the clip, I'll play you the full version of it. It's where Michael Cohen talks about where Special Counsel Jack Smith is going next in his criminal investigation of Donald Trump following having subpoenaed Matthew Calamari Sr. and Matthew Calamari Jr., who just testified before the criminal grand jury in Washington, D.C. But the clip starts with Michael Cohen talking about how when Donald Trump just sued him for $500 million, it's a form of witness intimidation, trying to intimidate and essentially harass Michael Cohen from being a witness in connection with the Manhattan District Attorney's criminal case against Donald Trump for falsification of business records. You're going to absolutely love this clip. It's Michael Cohen at his best. Let me play the full clip right now.
Donald used or is using this $500 million lawsuit against me as more than just a lawsuit against me for this alleged, for all these allegations. I don't even want to go into them. They're that stupid. What he's doing is he's basically witness tampering and obstructing justice. If you are a potential witness, why in the world would you want to have to defend a $500 million lawsuit against Donald Trump and go through the expense of defending it, which you have to do? You can't ignore it. You ignore it, they get a default judgment against you. That's exactly what they're hoping would happen. So people who would necessarily come forward and testify, are now turning around and saying, I really don't want to be involved in this, and so, they change their tune. And again, it's all about trying to hold Donald Trump accountable for what he has done, not what people want him to be held accountable for, but what he is accountable for and what, the court will ultimately determine. So it shouldn't be based upon your like or dislike for Donald. It should be based upon facts and, facts presented in a court of law, not a court of public opinion.
Anything else going on, Cohen, with your other cases? Any other depositions on the horizon, and anything else we should be looking forward to?
No, not yet. I mean, I prefer it this way. I spent 7 hours. There were 11 attorneys. It was my attorney, Jeffrey K. Levine. There were 3 from government, and then there were 7 from, the various different Trump and Trump entities, Trump, as well as other individuals who were named in that New York State Attorney General case. So I'm happy right now. I don't have anything. I just have a lot of litigation that's still pending. As it stands right now, we're still waiting for government to deal with Donald in the District Attorney of New York case. You may have seen the recent articles that were put out there where Alvin Bragg went to the judge, I should say the DA's office, went to the judge in order to prohibit Trump from releasing documents that he will obtain as a direct result of discovery, which he is entitled to prevent them from releasing it to the public, through his, social media platforms. We'll wait to see technically what happens with that one. That's a really tricky matter because, he's claiming, and rightfully so, it's his First Amendment right. If he wants to put that stuff out there, I don't know why he would want to. I don't think it benefits him no more than I think that my testifying before, Trump's counsel for that New York State Attorney General case provided any benefit to him. But look, he seems to have a cascade of incompetent counsel directing him every step of the way. So, maybe it'll just help to make the cases move quicker.
We also learned this week that Matthew Calamari Sr. and Matthew Calamari Jr., his son. They're speaking before the grand jury in Washington, D.C. in connection with Special Counsel Jack Smith's ongoing criminal investigation into Donald Trump, and specifically whether surveillance footage at Mar-a-Lago was tampered with. How big is this, Cohen? And can you explain for our viewers and listeners who the Calamaris are, your dealings with them, and how you think their testimony before the grand jury in D.C. is going to be?
And so Matt is an interesting character at the Trump Organization, very much like most people, that work there. He's a very interesting guy, insofar as he started out as Trump's driver and bodyguard. And he's managed over the course of 4 decades now. He's there almost as long as Alan Weisselberg, shy by a couple of years, but he managed to move up to the highly esteemed position of Chief Operating Officer. Now, his son, Matty, good kid, smart kid, decided not so intelligently to come work at the Trump Organization. And Matt put him in charge of, believe it or not, technology, security, cameras, updating systems, helping with, operations as well. Matty basically controls all the cameras in all of the Trump facilities that are all uploaded to a single, server or sets of servers that he has the capability of monitoring and, of course, extrapolating the information that is wanted. What I understand is not that the tapes have been manipulated. This isn't like, Ocean's 11 or something where they have a clip and they put it onto a wire and then it runs a loop where nobody is there and so on. That's not what I believe that they're looking for. What I believe that they're looking for is answers as to why it took so long in order to obtain the information that they have been seeking. And this information is extremely important. Many people may turn around and say, come on, what kind of bullshit? Who cares? They got the tapes. It doesn't really matter. Well, sure, it matters. Not only does that specific request, but it must be a lengthy time period in front of that door. They want to see who went in, who went out, whether or not boxes were removed or documents were removed or anybody unauthorized managed to get into that facility, the storage facility, right? And, either copied or took top secret U.S. documents. So, yeah, it's really important. And the fact that, this was not provided to government immediately, I believe, is the reason why they are calling the two Calamaris, to speak before the special counsel. Now, another thing that I could probably tell you with relative certainty that conversation that they will be having with the special counsel's team, to be very honest with you, is not just going to be centric to the videotapes and to the security system and so on. Rest assured, it will definitively encompass other aspects of the Trump Organization, because Matt was basically doing the same thing that Alan Weisselberg was doing and that he was charged with. He had an apartment that was, where, here in the city, he had an apartment. So did Maddie. And then they also were given vehicles, and I've never seen their tax returns. So I'm basically speculating that, they didn't report it either as income or so on. I don't know about any payments for education or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that the special counsel has more questions to ask than just merely about the videotaping machine and security.
So there we talk about Calamaris. We talked earlier in the week about Dan Scavino. So Dan Scavino worked as Trump's caddy and then basically became the deputy chief of staff.
After becoming caddy, he became, let's not forget his resume, his CV, impressive CV that it is. He became the general manager of Trump National Briarcliff Manor, which is in Westchester.
And then he rose up to become basically the deputy chief of staff and was social media director. You have the Calamaris, Trump's drivers, who rose to the level of COO. And now they're all testifying before the grand jury and special counsel Jack Smith. I mean, he only hires the best people, right, Cohen?
Oh, whoa, take it easy there. I was there for 10 years also. And then, next year you're going to have Jack Smith, and I heard this once by a comic, he's going to be, you're going to see Jack Smith very soon subpoenaing Big Petey, Little Petey, Medium Petey, Wee Petey, Ortho Petey, Petey, Joe Bag of Donuts, Muscles Marinara, Squiddly Dinner, Parmesan. All right. At the end of the day, that's who he's coming. That's who he's coming to speak to. And what do you think he's going to end up with? Who knows? Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, there have been so many people testifying before this January 6th committee. They have 1,000 people have testified at this point or have given testimony. You have millions of documents that have been given. There comes a point in time, my mom always says to me, it's time for them to shit and get off the pot. It's enough already. It's truly enough. How much more do you need? You have emails, you have text messages going in and out of the White House. You now have 4 members of the Oath Keepers today that they were charged and sentenced, right, to seditious conspiracy. You know how significant that is? You have any idea? This isn't like a charge that anybody thought was going to be possible. I mean, you have to attempt to overthrow the government, and you have to try and coordinate the overthrow with other people. And they did it. They were successful. These 4, I don't even know what the guidelines are for seditious conspiracy. What is it? 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? I mean, who the hell knows? Are you going to, some supermax because it's seditious conspiracy? I mean, I'm waiting to see, what all the information is, where these folks are going to go, what the length that they're going to be given. I mean, look, it is serious. I mean, this whole January 6th is really serious, but holy crap, nobody thought that they were going to be, I mean, think about how many pundits on television got this shit wrong. Oh, come on, it has never been applied. It doesn't really, it didn't really mean it for this. And at the end, no. Today, 4 of them, and there will be more.
And there you have it, folks. Make sure you download Political Beatdown wherever you get your audio podcast. Just search Political Beatdown and make sure you subscribe right here to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel. Hit subscribe. It is free. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network.
Lock him up. Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new Indictment Season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.meidastouch.com.